This is Daryl Jace for Change the Why, here making the second video. It's on why I think people don't study. The real reason. I think the default answer is like, oh, MTT players are fucking lazy and they suck, and I think part of that is true, but I feel like every one of those people, if you're one of them, you can find a time where you actually just put a lot of time with study. And that doesn't mean like hand history review necessarily or watching a video. That's not the only ways to study. I think I talk to a lot of intuitive players and they're like, oh, I don't study. I just talk poker with people, my friends. And I always never really thought about it when they said that, but as I learn more about how people learn, that's actually just a great way to study. It's one of the best ways to study is talking poker with friends. It's one of the best ways I've learned in the past 2 years. And if you're not a poker player, it doesn't mean that this stuff doesn't apply to you. It applies to anything you want to learn. So you can kind of just find the correlation there. So I guess I tell that story because a lot of people, because of school, kind of just have this idea of if you're not working on the game in a very analytical type of rational school type of way, you're not really learning. So if you're not pulling up a hand history and working on a specific area and finding the most optimal thing to work on and then working on that bit by bit by bit, or watching a video on a specific subject, then you're not really learning. And that's really not the case. There's plenty of different ways to learn, and when I coach, I teach in many different ways, depending on the player's type, depending on the person I'm teaching. So, some people, for example, I play heads up with, and we talk about ranges. Some people, we watch the tables and see what other people are doing. Some people, we just do straight up hand history reviews. Some people, we just order everything out. These are like the more logical types, right? Some people, we just have conversations. These are like the more social types, theoretical types, abstract thinker types, perhaps. Although you could do that with logical thinkers as well. But generally people who are more social. Some people we just break down programs, the really mathy, geeky guys. Some people we just talk about HUDs, whatever. And I'm giving you these as examples, but what I want you guys to ask yourself is, what was the time that you put a lot of hours in studying and you actually enjoyed it? And the enjoyment part is actually really important. I don't say that lightly. I don't think enjoyment is just a small factor. It's actually this huge factor. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to remember any of it. Like, your brain decides, okay, do I keep this memory or not? And if you're just sitting there just being like, the standard, clicking the next hand on hand history review, your brain just doesn't want to remember that. It has to filter which memories to keep, which ones not to keep. So, for example, if I told you, to remember a happy moment, a really happy moment, you can think of that right away. Or if I told you to remember your first kiss, you remember that right away. Or on the opposite side, something you were afraid of, something you were scared of. That's something, like a life-threatening situation. It's very unlikely that you forgot that. So, emotion and memory and learning just completely linked together. Really important. So, going all the way back, remember a time you put in a lot of hours, a lot of work. Why did you do that? What was it about that study that made it interesting? I remember talking to one guy a few days ago, and he was saying, I don't really study, but, there was this time I put in 6-7 hours, and it's because he was building a program for poker to, model a specific spot. I talked to other people who just really enjoy talking poker with people, and they could talk for poker for hours with people. So I talk to other people who are just they'll build specific ranges for specific spots and they just get really involved in that. I talk to other people who just like get involved with creating custom HUDs and just go on and on and on for hours. And you know, with every person it's different. But almost every poker player has that time where they just put in a lot of hours studying. So try and remember what that was, which shouldn't be too hard. Try and figure out why, you know, and then try and recreate that. And hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys, you know, the thing with my videos is I always give you guys something actionable, something you can do right away after watching the video. So if you don't go out and do the thing that I'm talking about, you know, if you don't go out and think about, you know, what ways you actually enjoyed studying before and then figuring out how to recreate that, or just, you know, doing the same thing over again, which could obviously work, you know, you're not going to learn much from this video. Just watching a video, hearing me talk, seeing my face, doesn't really do anything. If you want to learn something, you want to be good at something, you have to take action. You have to do the thing. So, hope you guys do the thing. Hope you guys liked it. Pretty nervous making videos, like my first or second time doing it, so peace.